What's up, people of YouTube? This is True Warlord here, and I'm bringing you guys my Far Cry 4 overall review of the game. And actually, this isn't really an overall view because I'm not doing anything with the multiplayer and map editor. I haven't messed with that stuff too much, and I'm probably not going to do a review over that. When I do reviews over games, a lot of the time I'll do it over what's most important in the game. Call of Duty's multiplayer, Far Cry 4's, leaning more towards the campaign. So to start this off, we are going to go over three main categories within the game. And, going through these, I made this a while back, these images that you're going to see on screen while I'm talking about them, and kind of decided what I wanted to give each of these categories, like right when I got the game, maybe about a day or two after. So my opinion might have changed a little bit. I don't really know. We'll see as I'm going through the list. But to start this off, we're going to be reviewing the graphics of Far Cry 4. So for the characters within Far Cry 4, I thought that their faces, they could have used a little bit of work. They were pretty good for the most part. I mean, it was definitely above average, but for it being next gen, I figured, hey, this needed to be a little bit better. So for the character graphics, I gave it a 6 out of 10, which is the lowest rating I have on this entire review. So that should give you a little bit of a hint. Also, before I get more into this, I want to let you guys know that there will not be spoilers within this video that I'm aware of. The gameplay in the background is just some camps and just rescuing hostages and stuff, and so it shouldn't really be spoilers or anything. So now moving on to the world graphics, and by world graphics I mean the trees, the grass, the way the buildings look, and all that. And I gave this a solid 9 out of 10. I think that the world graphics look amazing. I think that it's very, very detailed, and it definitely deserves what I gave it. Moving on to the next one, we have the FPS graphics, and FPS graphics, I mean what you're seeing from your point of view. So your guns, your weapons, your bow, your hands, your feet, everything that you're seeing from your point of view. And I gave it a 8.5 out of 10, and that could even almost be lifted to a 9, because as I played it some more, you kind of notice the little details, like this bow that I'm using on screen. You can really see the detail within the bow, and it's phenomenal. So the overall for graphics, I have an 8 out of 10, and I think that's pretty fitting for it. Maybe an 8.5 out of 10 total, but overall, for sure, an 8 out of 10. Moving on now, we have the content, and by content, I mean animals, side missions, weapons, map sizes, vehicles, and so on and so forth. So, for the animals, I gave it a 7 out of 10. I didn't think there was enough animals within the game, okay? Now, where they're located in the world, it's probably kind of hard. But there are crocodiles, there are snakes, so, I mean, there are plenty of animals, but I wanted something more. I don't really know what, but I wanted something more. So, I gave it a 7 out of 10. I don't know what you guys would think, but that's what I have. Now, moving on to the side missions. There are plenty of side missions, from capturing forts to rescuing hostages to killing, important army like lieutenants and captains and stuff. There's plenty of that stuff to do within the game, and destroying convoys, capturing cars, things like that. So that will keep you really, really busy. Weapons, I was a little bit harsh on. I gave it I gave weapons a 7 out of 10, and now to be honest, I probably could have given it a little more, because when you play the game, the longer you go, you start to unlock weapons that it doesn't originally show on the screen. But the weapons, there was nothing really solid, besides the bow, which I like a lot. The bow and sniper rifles and stuff. There's nothing really, really, really solid within the game that you can use and you're going to love. It's just kind of, like they're all okay, but there's nothing amazing, I guess I should say. Now, moving on, we have the map size. The map size it's huge. It's ginormous. It's bigger than Far Cry 3. It's definitely a 9 out of 10. It deserves that placing. Now, vehicles, I gave it a 6 out of 10. Really, really low. There's not very many vehicles. There's I want to say probably 6 or 7 land vehicles, and that's pretty bad. There needed to be dirt bikes. There needed to be something else. You can't put in 2 different types of trucks, 2 cars, and a van, and a 4-wheeler and call it good. You can't do that. Sorry. Okay, so the overall for the content within Far Cry 4, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Now we have the extras, and by extras I mean controller usage, character acting, the game sound, and those types of things. So for controller usage, I have an 8.5 out of 10, and that's because they actually used a little touchscreen pad at the top of the PS4 controller, and I like that a lot. I find that very useful, and it's it's actually nice to use, and you can use it when you're exploring the map, scrolling around and stuff. So that's what I have for that 8.5 out of 10. Now, character acting, I think that the character acting is actually really well. There's really good characters within the game that just stand out amongst the other ones. So like, I want to say there's probably 6 characters within the game that are really like, they stand out. They're really good acting. They sound good. They got a lot of character like within them, if that makes sense. Game sound, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's, you know, game sound isn't actually that bad. The 7 out of 10, it wasn't meaning to be bad. It's good. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's average. It doesn't stand out. Like, there's nothing special about it. It's just game sound. That's why I gave it a 7 out of 10. Overall, the extra content within Far Cry 4 has an 8 out of 10. And last but not least, Far Cry 4, as an overall, I gave it an 8 out of 10, and I think that is very fitting for this game. Now, should you go out and buy it? Yes, it's worth it. I'm glad I got it, and I would recommend it to pretty much anybody. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Twitter and Facebook links will be down in the description. The video you see on screen will be the last video that I made, and deuces.